Tonight, millions of doses of the Moderna vaccine are arriving at thousands of sites around the country. And we're getting new details about who will be among the next 50 million Americans to be given priority for vaccinations. CBS's Errol Barnett reports tonight from hard-hit Tennessee.
Tonight, the country's second COVID-19 vaccine is arriving at hospitals nationwide. At this VA facility in Boston, it was a dose of hope for military veteran Patricia Thomas.
It's a little scary, but I'm glad to get it over with.
Moderna's nearly 6 million doses follows Pfizer's almost 3 million distributed in the past week, both of them initial rounds.
This first wave of Moderna shipments will be sent to more than 3,500 sites, a greater number than the Pfizer vaccine was sent to.
Also, the Centers for Disease Control is now recommending who's next in line for the vaccine. Frontline essential workers like first responders and teachers, as well as people 75 and older. Already, 500,000 Americans have received the Pfizer vaccine. This afternoon, President-elect Joe Biden was vaccinated near his Wilmington, Delaware home on live television.
I'm doing this to demonstrate that people should be prepared when it's available to take the vaccine.
Vaccine reinforcements cannot come soon enough from states like Tennessee, where the infection rate is now among the highest in the country. Now, the governor here insists vaccines will help end the war against this virus. Also tonight, word from the National Institutes of Health that Dr. Anthony Fauci, HHS Secretary Alex Azar, and others will receive the Moderna vaccine on camera Tuesday morning. Nora, the hope is that will help boost confidence these vaccines are safe.
All right, Errol Barnett, thank you.
The U.S. government is considering giving some people half the dose of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine in order to speed vaccinations, a federal official said on Sunday. Moncef Slaoui, head of Operation Warp Speed, the federal vaccine program, said on CBS's Face the Nation that officials were in talks with Moderna and the Food and Drug Administration about the idea. Moderna's vaccine requires 2 injections. That would mean people aged 18 to 55 would receive half the current quantity in each of the first and second doses. Slaoui said, quote, "We know it induces identical immune response," noting that ultimately it would be up to the FDA to make such a decision. Moderna and the FDA could not immediately be reached for comment. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said it had administered more than 4 million first doses of COVID-19 vaccines in the country as of Saturday morning and distributed over 13 million doses. The U.S. has also approved a vaccine from Pfizer, which, like Moderna's, requires 2 shots. Vaccinations have fallen short of early targets, as officials had hoped to have 20 million people vaccinated by the end of 2020.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Hey guys, how's it going? Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. I hope you guys are ready for the news today. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know a little bit about most of what happened. There was a lot of stuff that happened today, guys. A lot of stuff. You have Nancy Pelosi being reelected as Speaker. Oh, by the way, subscribe, like, and share Tommy Nation Politics. If you're on YouTube and you have Tommy Nation Politics, make sure you click notifications so you can get notifications of my videos. But, oh yes, Nancy Pelosi, guys. Nancy Pelosi. Let me tell you guys, 4th time as Speaker of the House. 4th time as Speaker of the House, and apparently she didn't get any Democrats voting against her this time. Last time she had 10. 10 Democrats voting against her. It's kind of weird, right? This time she did more, like virtue signal, like not really help the American people. Where, in fact, is the HEROES Act? Where was the HEROES Act? Don't know. Nobody knows. It'll never be spoken of again. But, you know how it is, guys. Y'all know the thing. Meanwhile, COVID vaccines, we have different COVID vaccines coming out. We have Pfizer, Moderna, a whole bunch of others. It's a corporate rollout of vaccines. I mean, me and Paula Cahill, we were talking about how for Medicare for All, what they want to push in New York, the studies. They want to make sure that we study the detriments and everything, all of this, the detriments of Medicare for All. It's funny when the studies are so short because of a pandemic. I mean, I know we're all working overtime. We're all working super hard. The pandemic's a big deal. It's affecting people's lives. But I have a question for my audience. What do you think affected the economy more? COVID or the Democrats and Republicans? What do you think affected the loss of jobs and homelessness and poverty more? COVID or the Democrats and the Republicans? What do you think is a poison to us and will never, ever, ever, ever get better? No matter how much we try to vote for progressive Democrats and Republicans, it seems to me that we're always just going to get the same meal-mouthed cowardice that I just saw from Ayanna Pressley, from Jamal Bowman, from Cori Bush, from Rashida Tlaib, and from all the other people that just decided that, I mean, how much more can Nancy Pelosi punish you and make you look like a cuck, AOC? That's all I have to say. How much more? I mean, this was embarrassing, guys. That's all I have to say. Leftists. That's why I keep saying to you guys, there's no right or left. There really isn't. There's just corporatist Democrats, corporatist corrupt Democrats, corporatist corrupt Republicans. And then you have Nancy Pelosi, whose her specialty is to take every single progressive-minded person and make sure that they know that they're going to get primaried if they so much as speak up and whatnot. It's a sad, disappointing scene, guys. It's a sad, disappointing scene. Meanwhile, we have Nancy Pelosi as speaker, and then we have Trump, Donald J. Trump. He's also in the news today. Waiting for this video to load, but let's see. Speed test. Okay, cool. Y'all, hold on real quick. Speed test. Hard to find a good leftist these days. That's all I have to say. Like, it really is. Where do you find these guys? America has a lot of leftists. 40% of voters say that they would rather live in a socialist country than a capitalist one. Yet America has 0 leftists running for president, for first one. I mean, not even Bernie Sanders. Think about that the next time someone tells you we live in the greatest country on earth, for that matter. Or this is a democracy. Either one of those things. I don't understand how anybody could possibly think that this was a democracy after what we just experienced and also what we experienced in the primaries. It was embarrassing. The most embarrassing thing is that we keep letting it happen. I think that's the most embarrassing part. But, it's just my opinion, guys. Okay, I think this is loaded. We're ready for this? Yeah. Okay, guys. So check out what happened this morning. It was a fun little scene.
beginning before the Senate the certificates of election of 32 senators. Elect year terms beginning on January 3, 2021. All certificates, the chair is advised, are in the form suggested by the Senate and contain all the essential requirements of the form suggested by the Senate. If there be no objection, the reading of the certificates will be waived and they will be printed in the full in the record. If the senators to be sworn will now present themselves at the desk in pairs as their names are called in alphabetical order, the chair will administer their oaths of office. The clerk will read the names of the first pair.
Mr. Booker, Mrs. Capito.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic? That you bear true faith and allegiance to the same? That you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion? And that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you're about to enter, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, Senator. The clerk will call the names of the next pair.
Mr. Marshall, Mr. McConnell.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic? That you bear true faith and allegiance to the same? That you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion? And that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, Senator.
The House will be in order. The tellers agree in their tallies that the total number of votes cast is 427, of which the Honorable Nancy Pelosi of the state of California has received 216. The Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California has received 209. The Honorable Tammy Duckworth of the state of Illinois has received 1 vote. The Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of the state of New York has received 1 vote. Therefore, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi of the state of California, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 117th Congress. The clerk appoints the following committee to escort the Speaker-elect to the chair. The gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Hoyer. The gentleman from California, Mr. McCarthy. The gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Clyburn. The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise. The gentlewoman from Massachusetts, Ms. Clark. The gentlewoman from Wyoming, Ms. Cheney. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Palmer. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Sean Patrick Maloney. The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Mike Johnson. The gentlewoman from Ohio, Ms. Beatty. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentlewoman from California, Ms. Jacobs. The gentlewoman from Oklahoma, Ms. Stephanie Weiss. And the members of the California delegation. The members of the committee from majority and minority leadership will retire from the chamber to escort the Speaker-elect to the chair. Without objection, the House will stand in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
Thank you, my friends. Members of Congress, families, friends, welcome all. As Speaker of the House, it is my great honor to preside over this sacred ritual of renewal as we gather under the dome of this temple of democracy to begin the 117th Congress. Thank you, Leader McCarthy. Congratulations on your election as leader. I look forward to working with you to meet the needs of the American people during this great moment of challenge. As the leader knows, usually on this day, the day of our swearing in, there is a bipartisan church service that we all attend where we pray together for America. Until that is possible again, let us all pray personally. Pray that let there be peace on earth and let it begin with us. That is our recurring theme. And our prayers, as we all know, are very needed now. As we are sworn in today, we accept a responsibility as daunting and demanding as any previous generation of leadership has ever faced. We begin this new Congress during a time of extraordinary difficulty. Each of our communities has been drastically affected by the pandemic and its economic crisis. 350,000 tragic deaths. We sadly carry them in our hearts. Over 20 million infections, millions without jobs, a toll beyond comprehension. To our new members, and we will be welcoming them soon to swear them in, welcome and congratulations on your election to the United States House of Representatives. As our founders intended, our democracy will be reinvigorated by the vibrancy and dynamism of the communities that you represent. I thank my constituents in San Francisco, California, who have entrusted me to represent them in the spirit of St. Francis, the patron saint of our city, whose anthem, the Song of St. Francis, is our anthem of our city. Lord, make me a channel of thy peace. I thank my Democratic colleagues in the Congress for the confidence you have placed in me in electing me Speaker, and will endeavor to meet the moment with courage, unity, and grace, and especially thank our distinguished chair of the caucus, Mr. Jeffries, Chairman Jeffries, for his very generous nomination. Thank you, Mr. Jeffries. It gives me great pride to serve as Speaker of the most diverse House of Representatives in the history of our country, with a record-shattering 122 women. 122 women.
Women.
We can applaud that.
Let's hear it for women.
122 women. "100 years after women won the right to vote." Working with the committees of jurisdiction, the Select Committee will recommend proposals that power fair economic growth to make our economy work for everyone. In all that we do, let us be for the people, recognizing the beautiful diversity of America so that no one is left out and no one is left behind.
A Fox News alert, a brand new Congress to be led by a familiar face, Nancy Pelosi, being introduced now as the Speaker of the 117th.
Just voted for war criminal Pelosi, who helped her fellow imperialists cover up violations of international law. See Ms. Warren. Every member of the squad who ran on being the resistance voted to retain Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. How does that happen? The bottom line is, as long as progressives and leftists run as Democrats, they'll be controlled by the oligarch. Compton J. Ryan Knight, breaking after initially abstaining at AOC and at Cori Bush, just joined the rest of the squad in voting for Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House for the 4th time, January 3rd, 2021.
We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad. You know, I mean, having a correct, the people of Georgia are angry. And these numbers are going to be repeated on Monday night, along with others that we're going to have by that time, which are much more substantial even. And the people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, you know, that you've recalculated.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
Now, do you think it's possible that they shredded ballots in Fulton County? Because that's what the rumor is. And also that Dominion took out machines. That Dominion is really moving fast to get rid of their machinery. Do you know anything about that? If that's illegal.
This is Ryan Germany. No, Dominion has not moved any machinery out of Fulton County. We're having.
Well, but have they moved? Have they moved the inner parts of the machines and replaced them with other parts?
No.
You sure, Ryan?
I'm sure.
You should want to have an accurate election. And you're a Republican.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have. Not even close. You're off by hundreds of thousands of votes. You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense. And you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you and to Ryan, your lawyer. That's a big risk. But they are shredding ballots, in my opinion, based on what I've heard, and they are removing machinery, and they're moving it as fast as they can, both of which are criminal fines, and you can't let it happen, and you are letting it happen. I'm notifying you that you're letting it happen. So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state. So tell me, Brad, what are we going to do? We won the election, and it's not fair to take it away from us like this. And it's going to be very costly in many ways. And I think you have to say that you're going to re-examine it, and you can re-examine it, but re-examine it with people that want to find answers, not people that don't want to find answers. For instance, I'm hearing Ryan, and he's probably, I'm sure, a great lawyer and everything, but he's making statements about those ballots that he doesn't know. But he's making them with he did make them with surety, but now I think he's less sure, because the answer is they all went to Biden. And that alone wins us the election by a lot. So.
Mr. President, you have people that submit information, and we have our people that submit information, and then it comes before the court, and the court then has to make a determination. We have to stand by our numbers. We believe our numbers are right.
Well, under law, you're not allowed to give faulty election results, okay? You're not allowed to do that, and that's what you've done. This is a faulty election result. And honestly, this should go very fast. You should meet tomorrow, because you have a big election coming up, and because of what you've done to the president, the people of Georgia know that this was a scam. And because of what you've done to the president, a lot of people aren't going out to vote. And a lot of Republicans are going to vote negative because they hate what you did to the president. Okay? They hate it. And they're going to vote. And if you would be respected, if this thing could be straightened out before the election. You have a big election coming up on Tuesday.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
Yeah, I mean, what can I tell you guys? What can I tell you? Did you hear the president? I think that you're going to have a really hard time, huh? I mean, does that sound like a guy who's playing three-dimensional chess? Or is that a guy who is a brat? And he's always, got his way. His dad bailed him out of 6 bankruptcies. He went to Wharton School of Business. And he pretty much just lived the life of a guy whose dad is rich, right? This is what happens with rich people's kids. This is what happens. So does that sound like a guy who's playing three-dimensional chess right there? Or does that sound like a guy who is a big old Karen? I think you're right. They're so mad at what you're doing to the president. I mean, you know what's funny, guys, is I never ever care about what Trump says. What Trump says is irrelevant to me. He could say he's going to inject himself with disinfectant. He could say he's going to do all kinds of stuff. But the funny part is, this is something that's just unignorable, though. I don't even think it's criminal intent, what he just did. It's just him being a big-ass Karen. It's no different than someone calling the police on a fucking like little girl selling lemonade. So from Amy Gardner, the Washington Post, President Trump urged fellow Republican Brad Raffensperger, the Georgia Secretary of State, to find enough votes to overturn his defeat in an extraordinary 1-hour phone call. Oh my God, there's a 1-hour phone call. There's more of that. Oh my God, I couldn't even listen to that. The Washington Post obtained a recording of the conversation, which Trump berated Raffensperger, tried to flatter him, begged him. He went through all of those things. Hey, are you sure? Are you sure, Brad? Brad, are you sure? Are you sure that there's no ballots? Then he wanted like one more ballot than Biden had. Like that's not even creative, Trumpy. Sorry, bro. Sorry to tell you this, bro, but you're just a little bit bratty and a big old Karen. I mean, am I gonna be sad that he's leaving? Yes. You know why? He's the most entertaining fucking president we've ever had. Oh my God, this shit needs to go on. Okay, not to mention that he just fires everybody in the Pentagon. Not a big fan of the Pentagon or the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So, whatever, it is what it is. Now, Nancy Pelosi, on the other hand, and the squad. Now, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, the reason I know the Republicans and the Democrats, they're both horrible, evil people. But I think the reason why the Democrats bother me more is A, they lie and pretend to the point where they get people to believe their stories. And then they can virtue signal to like enforce those stories. You can't really defend it. You can't really defend, or argue with them because it's always like women, blacks, women. What, are you transphobic? And you're like, no, I have the same values that you do, I thought. But it turns out they don't have any principles or values. All they have is laissez-faire economics and all that shit. So, I mean, it's really, what's the word? Lame. What's the word? Lame. It's also lame, guys, that even after the coalescing, people are calling themselves leftists, right? 40% of our entire country is referred to as the left, even though they're nowhere near left. How could you be called left and invest in a stock market with invisible ones and zeros? A stock market that is based on numbers that these companies have. These companies that exploit the wealth of the country, extract it, and then exploit our workers. If not exploiting our workers, overseizing their jobs, making it so that little 12-year-old Malaysian girls have to pick up the slack, make those Apple computers, make those Pfizer vaccines, huh? Corporate rollouts. Oh, yes. Make sure you read the handbook, okay? Gotta make sure you read that handbook. What's in the handbook? Nancy Pelosi, 4th time as Speaker of the House. I don't know what to tell you guys. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when she was first getting elected into her district in Brooklyn, the first thing she said to Glenn Greenwald was, I think we need new leadership. I think we need new leadership. Why do we need new leadership? Because this generation doesn't understand. They're still in that two and a half car garage, 2.5 kids with a dog. The time where the college was $800 a semester. These boomers are living in a dream world, Leo. We're living in a dream world, Leo. And we'd either need to get one of these boomers to take a red pill instead of the blue pill, or we need to go ahead and revolution. Honestly, it's not even the fact that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden are boomers. I don't even think they're boomers. I think they're a generation before that, right? Industrialized wealth exploiters. I don't know what they are. 1940, Nancy Pelosi. San Francisco, California, served her district for 35 years. We represent them. We represent them. I don't think they think that. I think they vandalized your house, Nancy. What do you think about that, Nancy? You're gonna get the gavel out on that? Why don't you pass some agenda? I bet she will. For vandalizing houses. But her and Joe, they're gonna whip up a big ass, nice little crime bill for all of us. Thank you so much, Nancy. But although I'm disappointed in the fact that Nancy Pelosi is still Speaker of the House. The reason that she's Speaker of the House is the more disappointing reason. I'm talking about the squad. I'm talking about the hashtag fraud squad. I guess it just doesn't take long until the propaganda seeps into your veins when you step into those doors at Capitol Hall. Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, all voting for Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker. I want the progressive media to hold these guys accountable. I hope I'm not the only one asking these guys questions. I hope I'm not the only one wondering why they would vote for Nancy Pelosi. And also, why you didn't challenge Nancy Pelosi, AOC. If you think we need new leadership, why don't you challenge the leadership? It's all very puzzling. It's all very cuckoldish. It's all very lame. Well, guys, that was the news today. I don't know. This is what Trump did might be a criminal offense. Like, that really is messing with the elections. Like, trying to get people to change the vote counts. You didn't see that, Brad? How embarrassing, man. Trump, if I were you, I don't know why you haven't realized this by now, but they're bugging your phones. You didn't know that, bro? Why you want to be doing that on the phone? This guy, he's so dumb. Which is why I don't think he's playing three-dimensional chess. I think he's playing I'm a billionaire and you're not chess. And you guys on the 6th, I mean, Mike Pence is already planning to ratify Joe Biden as president. And then he's going to run away to the Middle East to escape that wrath. And when he comes back, there's going to be a new president. And he'll be welcomed back with open arms. Open arms from the Fox News, the neoliberal wing of the MSNBC. Dana Perino, Nicole Wallace, you know, the old George Bush gang, the Buttercream gang, the Guantanamo Bay gang. Yeah. Mike Pence will be welcomed back to open arms. He might even actually, 2024, might even have a chance of running for the establishment wing. Because who else would? Jeb? Please clap. Please clap. Well, Mr. President, your reign of funkiness was funny to me. I like some of the stuff he did. But honestly, for your own sake, probably shouldn't be president anymore. You really, really don't have a brain. Common sense. Maybe you should buy some guy to get his common sense. Not John Bolton. Not Dick Cheney. Someone else. Guys, there's only one thing that I want to tell you now. It's very important. The only way that we could possibly save our country is if we're free-thinking, innovative, totally open-minded. Tommy Nation Politics. Fraud Squad. Hashtag Fraud Squad.